Thank you very much for being part of the show. It is indeed the Blaze Sports. My brother Jasper joins me on the 20th of December 2023, a lovely Wednesday morning, a day whereby in 1998, Kylian Mbappe Lotin was actually born. How are you?
Not bad. How are you, Edgar? Good morning, Uganda. You're talking about Kylian Mbappe. This boy has become somebody to attest ourselves to about football success. And coming from Africa, the parents originating from here, but settling in Europe. And remember, when Africans conquer Europe, especially in football, we are not recognized, but we have to recognize Kylian Mbappe as one of the most prolific youngsters that have evolved in our generation, Edgar. Somebody born in 1998 and now is one of the top world's best footballers, Edgar. We can say Kylian is...
At that young age.
At that young age.
Now
Kylian
25.
Kylian is somebody that inspires lots of kids, Edgar. Beyond that, 1998, you remember the World Cup in 98?
For that French World Cup, where Zidane became, they defeated Brazil 3-0.
Yes, coming from that, having been born in that very year, and coming
but
back
how did
to
he play
win,
for Africa?
Coming back to win the World Cup, you remember the last World Cup. Before this, I think it was this was 2022, and the other one was World Cup 2018, and they were winning that with the likes of Pogba, Griezmann. They had N'Golo Kante over there. They had Hugo Lloris in goal. Edgar, you look at Mbappe, and he's one of the people.
I think they didn't have Benzema then.
Karim Benzema, I think Karim Benzema in 2018.
He was on.
Yeah, he was on. Yeah, he was on, but got injured at a later stage during the group stages.
So Mbappe had to.
Mbappe evolved then
to go for it. That team was bloody, by the way. They had N'Golo Kante.
Edgar, only that Mbappe has not won the UEFA Champions League is my worry. He should be a complete Ballon d'Or contender.
He can be successful like Ronaldo Senior. Dalima won everything apart from the Champions League.
Yeah, but you remember, when you don't win the Champions League in Europe, most of the media in Europe are not counting on you, are not considering you as one of the best.
But at his age, if he chooses very, very well his teams, because it also matters.
To me, Edgar, I thought Kylian Mbappe was joining Real Madrid last season. He was on the verge of joining Real Madrid, but the owners of Paris Saint-Germain decided to play a trick against him, tying him down at Paris, Parc des Princes in Paris, to make him stay by force. But he played it cool also and said he is not signing a new contract extension until his contract expires in this coming 2024. And Edgar, I think at the end of his contract, this boy must be moving to Real Madrid. All he wants is to win the Champions League. He was one the French
in the Real Madrid team this season. They would have won it. Because
seriously,
team, it's actually one of the teams that I predict to take this range of Champions League.
Most probably,
but they are very, very good.
Madrid is very good, and you think if Kylian Mbappe joins Real Madrid, then he is good to win this Champions League, because when Kylian joins Real Madrid,
they have higher chances. Chances, because with
there's
soccer,
Jude Bellingham, there's Vinicius Junior, there's Rodrigo, there's this other guy, Ernest Valverde, a young generation, Edgar, Eduardo Camavinga. And you look at this Madrid team and you think maybe it's the golden generation that we expect in 2024 and 2025 to be winning. However, we look at Carlo Ancelotti, an aged gaffer, who is coaching Real Madrid with his son. He has always moved with his son. He's the assistant coach, the son to Carlo Ancelotti. Jordan Ancelotti is the assistant coach of Real Madrid, and he's a son
but
to Carlo
Ancelotti. Is also a successful coach.
Very successful, very calculative, very intelligent, and you expect him to be transforming this Real Madrid team. He was believed to be using all the players like older guys, Luka Modric, Karim Benzema. They had Toni Kroos somewhere over there. Remember that time he let Marcelo go, and that team was almost Sergio Ramos actually. You look at that team, and they were all aging, and they had no successors. But this time, we look at
he has a young team.
He has
this team can
very,
play
very young team.
if they don't get injuries like and they don't get. They can even play for 5 good years from today.
Seriously,
very good because their age is between 22, 23, 25, 22, 25.
Edgar, I think this is the time we can see the golden generation at Real Madrid or Los Blancos.
Young boys are playing soccer. Young boys have started earning a lot from football.
Very much from football. And Edgar, FIFA is looking at targeting these young boys 18 and below. If you produce a player, if you are a coach, if you are somebody, a football manager, a scout, and you have a bunch of players who are 18 and below, then you are good to reap from soccer. Edgar, FIFA is targeting this younger age so that by the time it comes to 2030, we have these boys who are in their early 20s, the most efficient age group in football. And we think this project is going to work out because it has worked out somewhere in Germany. It worked out for Spain. You remember when they won that 2010 World Cup in South Africa, they had only an average of 24 and Sergio Ramos by then. Sergio was 22, I think, when he won the World Cup. You remember
Casillas was
Iniesta, but Casillas was a bit older than them, although he was about 25. You look at their average age and they were
Iniesta, Busquets,
Sergio Busquets, Xavi. You looked at David Silva, they were all young. David Villa, they were young guys at that moment. But we think, having been successful with this project in Spain and in Germany in 2014 in Brazil, you remember that final in Copacabana, Edgar, the world is now changing. Football is no longer for the other old people.
And by the way, not only in playing, even in managing.
Yes, even in managing.
I think everything has come back to young lads because the tactics that these young people do, if you look at the likes of Gadi is not an old coach.
He's not old.
If you compare when he started winning, and I expected this to happen to Xavi, he's still pushing.
Xavi is trying to make
you look at the age. Even, by the way, I don't support Arsenal. If you look at Arteta's age, he's a young guy. And the kind of his style of play, you look at him, and he's also emphasizing on young people. That's why people like Saka have to remain at the game. He is in that thing, and I have a feeling that these young people, with the experience of these old lads like the Ancelottis, they are going to have to evolve football. Only that Val is going to organize everything.
So we say happy birthday to Kylian Mbappe, and he originates here from Africa. You very well know the Africans who have decided to play for Europe are all successful. Look at Achraf Hakimi, that guy who comes from Morocco, and he has decided actually.
He would have come and stayed with Amrabat.
The guy, you look at these people, I just can't tell. We have most of the prolific talents in Europe who hail from Africa. Edgar, Manchester United has a player called Kambara. This guy hails from DRC Congo, and he was, for the first time, involved in the starting 11 of Manchester United, though he was on the bench, Edgar. But we hope, if Kambara evolves as a player like Kobe Maino has done, then Africa is good to go, to have representatives who are doing better at the top of their game in Europe, Edgar. We have the likes
of Congo had Lualua sometimes.
Yeah, they had Romano Lualua. They have had also Romelu Minama Bolingoli. You know that this guy was actually disappointed us at Manchester United. Anyway, away from that, on the sad note, Mbarara City lost their former media officer, that is Mr. Abasa. I will not mention the second name because Edgar shares that name with him.
And you know, we are related, by the way.
For real?
His dad is actually our head of the clan.
Jesus Christ.
And it was quite unfortunate. Edgar had his son.
Jesus Christ.
He didn't die alone at the same time. That's how tragic. That's how sad it is. So as basically, it's not all about that accident. It's about an attachment, and it's about I just can't even explain. And remember, that accident involves people I knew. Even that canter, the person that was driving a canter, is also a friend. Jesus. And last night it was actually at his vigil today after work we are going to Mitoma. That's at midnight. Going to Mitoma, then we're going to come back tomorrow. So that's how chaotic it is. There are some people that had EDGAR in Mitoma before the accident. Before they left, there are people that were confessing. There are people that where they stopped in Mitoma at the centers. Those there in Mitoma, they stopped and had a cup of tea and then left. So when this news broke, this tragedy broke, there are people that were calling, were like, Katuwabareba, Kabaruga, and that's basically how unfortunate it was. So when we are talking about that information, it's a touching information. EDGAR was trying to survive somehow, because at least what Ferida has seen. So they had to bring him to Mbara Regional Referral Hospital, but in a very, very horrible condition. So by the time some of our relatives went there, they were saying, well, abazire bafana n'abandi EDGAR yako nkari kubi. So after like 1 hour and 20 minutes, we were also told that he had gone with the Lord. So that's unfortunate. That's how bad it is.
Death has robbed us of our very own.
True. That's true.
Very tragic.
Very, very many people that died in that accident, by the way. I call them very many people because an accident that involves more than 3 deaths.
That's tragic.
It's, you know. But it all comes back to how we are going to drive. Me, I tell you, we are doing sports right now.
Producer should play us that photo.
But I don't know. I think you gave him. Didn't you give him the photo?
We have submitted.
That guy was here at Mbara City for quite some time.
Yeah.
People know him, by the way. Very many people here know him.
Very many people.
And who replaced him? Was it this Arnold?
Arnold, yeah.
Arnold is
the one who replaced him.
So those are the people that came with Mbara City. I think that time when it was really pushing, he was one of the people that were there at first. And of course he had
to work with the likes of Osborne Mushabe.
Exactly.
That
now
was
you've
the
got,
group.
that was the time. But anyway, Bibao, that's why we normally tell you, Jasper, we use roads all the time. You use the road to come, I use the road to come. People are using roads. Some are actually using roads to go and watch us later on. Let's just be careful. We can't be there, but it's a matter of being careful.
Yes.
That's what I can say. I don't know if our producer, but if you happen to get that photo of EDGAR, you will let it know.
His photo is there. I think
you will let us know, because I'm very sure Jasper must have brought that photo. But anyway, you continue the sports. Then when he
all right, away from that, that's Alex Isabire, a man who has joined Express on a short-term contract, and he has been moving around different clubs here in this country.
But remember, he looks like a good coach. What happened?
Yeah,
why does he move?
He's a very, very good coach. EDGAR, you know, some of us are. I can confirm this using an example of real life. Some of us are talented, intelligent, handsome, but we are unlucky. That's one of the issues. I can say Alex Isabire is one of the most highly ranked coaches in this country.
I'm telling you,
because
that name is a popular figure, a highly regarded name.
Talking about his winning streaks, he won the inaugural FUFA drum tournament with Uganda. That was way back. I think, EDGAR, we can guarantee you that Alex was one of the first winners of the FUFA inaugural drum tournament. Away from that, he came to Mbarara, helped Nyamutobera, which was struggling. He helped Nyamutobera to qualify for the StarTimes FUFA Premier League, EDGAR. Away from that, he again went to Bull FC, helped Bull win back-to-back titles in the Uganda Cup. You remember when he beat Vipers on the final of the Uganda Cup, and he again went to the final for the successful time, EDGAR, 2 consecutive times on the final of Uganda Cup, which is one of the most difficult jobs to accomplish.
You know, Uganda Cup, when we were in primary, they used to call it
Kakunguru Cup. Yes.
Yeah.
EDGAR,
that's true.
Away from that, Alex went to Vipers. In the 3rd consecutive year, he also went to the final with Vipers and played against Bull, the team he was training and the team he won the Uganda Cup with. He won the Uganda Cup against his own team too, EDGAR. Away from that, he also won the Uganda StarTimes FUFA Premier League trophy in the same season. So, EDGAR, last season, Vipers were the Salongo. Vipers won a double under his stewardship. What does this mean for Alex? But later on, he was sacked. I just can't tell. Just because Dr. Lawrence wanted 4 trophies. He wanted the Uganda Cup, the Uganda StarTimes FUFA Premier League, trophy, and he wanted the Africa Confederations Cup. He also wanted this Sekafa Cup. Edgar, the pressure was too much for Issa Abedi, and he accomplished halfway of that job. He decided
and he
accepted. He said, if you wanted 4 trophies, I've just won 2, I will accept. If you say I should stop working here, he left. But now, those pictures confirm his presence at Express FC, whereby he has actually conducted a few training sessions like that one. You can see that is Alpha Thierry in shirt 7, one of the young lads that we expect to gain from Alexis Abdi's reign, because we think that Express has had problems. Away from that, we have seen a number of statements, official statements, actually 3 of them coming in from the management of Express, saying some of these people who are involved in fighting against the referee Fahad Sekayuba. I remember when they were playing against UPDF from Military Bombo Balak Stadium. These guys happened to they stalked the car that was ferrying the referees, removed Fahad Sekayuba, beat him to near death simply because they were saying he officiated against them, giving a goal. I remember the Bright Vuni header that crossed the line after hitting the bar. For Express fans, they thought it wasn't a goal, and they went on to fight
they
Fahad
picked
Sekayuba.
one.
Now, they picked 3 actually. They picked one referee from the car and beat him to near death, that is Fahad Sekayuba, and damaged the car. But
I mean those that have been penalized.
Yeah, the ones that have been penalized are 3 now.
Yeah.
According to those statements, different statements, Noah and Munea or Munain, they have actually been given non-persona grata. They are not accepted somewhere in this country near a football pitch or near a football facility.
How will they know?
Because Express is tasked to take photos of their fans on every game, Edgar. And that is the task that has been actually given by court. And Express has to make sure that for 2 years, these people, Noah and friends, should not come near to something called football. They spot them out, the Federation bans Express. They spot them out, Express pays fines. Away from that, Edgar, yes, those are statements coming in. Yeah, very, very bad. Still on Express, they are trying to prepare for a game under floodlights against Snake at Philip Omondi Stadium in Lugogo. We shall wait. Whatever result comes from that side, we shall also bring it to you. You've seen pictures of the young boys and girls who won from the MVP that I told you about, what we call Excellence Awards from USSA. We've had Edgar, I told you about Aaron Oiroth, and I told you about Peace Oiga. That girl, she has been one of the most prolific athletes this year, Edgar. That girl has been awarded. She is the female athlete of the year in Excellence Awards according to USSA. I think we should talk about the records she has made. She has been the national MVP, especially when it comes to female athletics, and FEASA, you know FEASA, Federation of East African Sports. She was the MVP also. And now the ISF, International Schools Federation, Morocco, we had the tournament that took place in Morocco. Though we did not win a cup as Uganda, remember we reached the same finals. We were doing also better. She was the MVP when we had the ISF competitions in Morocco. She was the top scorer, and she was actually called up upon by the national team in Burundi. That's what made him. I mean, that's what made her the MVP from the Excellence Awards. Edgar, the male athlete of the year.
Bring us back the male athlete of the year, I think, because people need to get to see what we are talking about.
Yeah,
and that's by the names of
Alan Oiroth.
Yes,
this boy Edgar happened to be at a Moose College. He was doing better in the nationals. Remember when they were in Fort Portal this very year? But according to all these records he has gathered, he was the TESO zone MVP. You know those zonal competitions from secondary schools. He was the zonal MVP, and he was the top scorer. I think he scored 11 goals in 6 games. Again, in the national championship, he was the MVP when they went to Fort Portal. He was the MVP, scoring 11 goals in 7 appearances. Edgar, that is Aaron. And on the top scorer of FEASA, you remember when they were giving out those lists, he was competing with a Kenyan by names of Mariga, something like Mariga, that guy who comes from the Bernard Mariga family. He also had the top scorer Boot for ISF, International Schools Federation tournament that was in Morocco. He was the MVP and top scorer in Uganda Masaza Cup for Gomba. You remember Aranui Roth? He was called upon for the national senior team. You remember when they went to Morocco, also in Rabat, when we were going to play those double games in the qualifiers, Edgar. That's Aaron Oiroth for you. Away from that, I can guarantee you, Edgar, that Uganda has been one of the successful countries that took part in the East Africa Parliamentary Games, Edgar. The pictures you have been seeing came in from Kigali. I can confirm, Edgar, that's one of the pictures, that Uganda won a total of 23 trophies, and they managed to bring 36 medals. Of the 36, 23 were gold, 5 silver, the remaining were bronze. In the number of games played in Kigali, Edgar, we had games coming in from basketball, where Honorable Mwine Mpaka was one of the best performers, Edgar. We had also athletics, where we had 2 female MPs. I forgot that. I forget that name. I forget nobody. I know I forget.
Ghana with cheating wasizam.
Edgar.
Those
are the pictures coming in from Kigali. You see, that's our
and those are our members of parliament. So don't think they are normal athletes. No, these are the representatives.
Edgar knows those people better.
But they performed very well.
Very well.
Competing with their fellow legislators from other countries in the East African community, we managed the best. By
Edgar,
I would have an issue. Well, this event so that we
other countries never had representatives.
But they did well. To try to say that was okay.
It was so entertaining about that tournament. There's at some point. At some point, Edgar.
I looked at the deputy speaker when he was playing golf.
At some point, Edgar, Uganda was actually a game between Uganda and South Sudan was postponed simply because South Sudan could not confirm that some of our men were MPs. Seriously, they thought,
I saw them quarreling. I saw them complaining.
South Sudan was complaining.
The people that I brought, we don't even understand if they are Ugandans. These are not like, we don't know them. We have a list of their MPs. Who are these people?
I was surprised, Edgar. How can South Sudan fail to recognize Peter Ogwang, our minister for sports?
I think it's just because of the hate.
Yeah. How could Peter Ogwang fail to be recognized as an MP?
And
he's your friend. He's
our minister.
He's your friend anyway.
They didn't know him.
Okay.
Period.
Away from that, Edgar, that's what you're seeing on your screen is the Uganda cricket cranes, Edgar. I can guarantee you, there's World Cup here, there's African Cup there. Hey, in cricket, Uganda is doing very, very well when it comes to cricket. We qualified for the T20 for the female cricket T20. And now, this was the T20 Africa Cup. We beat Kenya to pulp, Edgar, last evening. We beat Kenya to pulp. And you can see that was the trophy, the Africa Cup trophy for cricket T20. And I can guarantee you that Henry Senyondo, Roger Mukasa, and Alfresh Ramjan were named in the tournament's best 11, as well as Raziat Ali Shah given a honorary mention. When they give a honorary mention, that's Simon Cesar, by the way, one of our best bowlers, and our own Ali Shah was given a honorary mention in the closing ceremony. When you're given that honorary mention, you are one of the best, Edgar. I can confirm that Uganda now is in 2 World Cups for cricket for men and the cricket for ladies. And this time, we have also won the T20 Africa Cup, Edgar. Some of the results coming in from the EFL, you may call it Carabao Cup. We had a game that was mouth-watering, Edgar. Those games, I can guarantee, Edgar. By the way, we had also a game in the FIFA Club World Cup, whereby Man City beat Urawa Red 3-0, and now they are on to the finals. They are on to the finals, Edgar. I think we are going to have Pep Guardiola win different trophies, actually 5 of them, because he has won with Man City the Champions League, the Premier League times 3. He has won the actually the FA Cup, and now he's going for the final. That was the result coming in there, Edgar.
Thank you very much, Jasper. And of course, because of time, we shall have to leave. Jasper will be coming in later at 3 p.m. to give you the sports details, and that's during his sports session. Let's just take a break. When we return, the Morning Blaze continues.